So we're talking about folk horror, and how do you, as a writer, how do you ensure authenticity, particularly when you're confronting more colonial and patriarchal distortions of stories?
Well, I think I'm fairly lucky because I'm female and Irish. So I think it must be difficult if you're an English writer grappling with those notions. But Ireland isn't exactly of a legacy of empire. Uh, but I do think about this a lot. And that's why I mostly write folklore that's Irish folklore, because
Yeah,
that's my terra firma.
yeah,
Because I've been like a field worker. I've collected folkloric narratives. I've analysed them. I read a lot about folklore. I teach a unit in folk horror. And I always like Irish folklore is one of the richest in the world. And so I think it's something I can keep going back to. And it's also quite regional as well. So the map behind me of the Ivory Peninsula is somewhere that I did a residency in 2012. I've subsequently gone back 4 times. And that's really rich in narratives of the hag that you don't find necessarily in every other part of the country. So I suppose that's the kind of richness. I do find, I mean, I'm leaning into increasingly writing. Oh, I've got my books beside me and I've completely forgotten to use them throughout. But this is my last novella, and they shut me up. And so it's a novella that where I'm trying to talk about without giving away the premise, because of course I want people to buy it from PS Publishing, but it's essentially a revoicing of an older ghost, which is based on a real Irish aristocrat, Myra Rue O'Brien, who lived just down the road from where I live now on the West Coast. So I did lots of archival research to try and find her voice. So I guess in addressing these notions of authenticity, I do a lot of research. So when I use a folkloric story to riff off of, to write a contemporary narrative, I know that story. And but I've also reflected on what relationship does that story have to the contemporary era? Because I don't write historic folk horror, and it doesn't really interest me. What interests me is the here and now and the urgency with which some narratives from the past reach out and confront the present and the colleague crisis that we're living in. So, with This Shut Me Up, I was particularly interested in notions of menopause, invisibility, patriarchal, I suppose, suppression, and female silence.